Everybody was so excited. You've got so many fans from all sides of the whatever spectrums exist. People,
Yeah.
um, people need to laugh, especially when it's such everyone's so serious. So yeah, we need more people.
I think it's because I make jokes when I'm not supposed to be making jokes, so it can annoy a lot of people. But it's fun. It's fun. I enjoy it.
Let me just make sure that we're. Let me make sure that we're streaming. I don't see us.
Sometimes it can take a minute to actually show up on YouTube.
Okay. Uh,
Yep, yeah, I've got it. I've got it here. Seems like it's live.
oh, nice, nice, nice. And you see us on Periscope.
I don't use Periscope.
Oh, okay, okay. No worries. You don't need Periscope. Periscope is going extinct in a few months. They're shutting it down.
Oh, right, yeah, I think I heard about that. Oh well.
I'm not
Yes.
gonna cry for
Oh,
them.
sorry, I've been working all day and I'm really tired, but I'm
Oh.
fine. I'm good to go. But anyway, what was it? Free speech. Free speech. Yeah.
So do you guys have like a lot of lockdowns where you guys are? Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. We've got tier 4, which is the highest tier that we have right now, and one of the things that we've got over here is Scotland, even though it's part of the United Kingdom. There is a ruling party in Scotland that is the SNP, the Scottish National Party. Don't let the name fool you. They're not nationalists like at all. They want Scotland to be its own independent country, and what they do is like anytime England do something, like the SNP have this whole well, we're going to do that but better like type thing. So when England went into tier 4 lockdown, we also went into tier 4 lockdown, but then the Scottish First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, or as I like to call her, Satan, she went, oh, well, we're going to do a tier 4, but we're probably going to invent a new tier that's like even higher than tier 4 and put everybody into that. And I tweeted about that as a joke. I tweeted it out saying, "Oh, Nicola Sturgeon's going to make everyone go into super ultra tier 5 lockdown where you aren't even allowed to leave your bed." Right. And then later on that day, she tweeted out that she was considering creating a new tier of lockdown, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I was joking. It's like, see how that whole parody eventually becomes reality thing. Like that's what happened. But yeah, we've got it pretty bad over here. You're allowed to go to the shops to like buy groceries, and that's it. That's all you're allowed to do.
That's nuts. And even, I mean, it sounds like where you live, there isn't even a lot of people. So who are they helping?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just some of the things is like as far as the lockdowns go, we've got tons and tons of little private family owned businesses and everything. Like see in my villages in my village, like it's just everything's all little private family owned businesses, all of them, and they've all been forced to close and they've been given absolutely no support whatsoever by the government. So basically, the only people that are going to survive at the end of all this lockdown nonsense, if it ever finishes, is see how the big franchises and the big corporations that can, afford all of this, they're going to be the only thing that's left. Private family businesses have just been absolutely nuked because of this.
That's really upsetting. And it sounds like what's happening here in the US. I kind of feel like I think I mean, it seems like the same thing happening in a lot of different places all at once. And almost like it's like connected. It's like people are pushing for it.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of the things that I don't understand is it's I don't. I try and avoid terms like the entire left or the left or anything like not the entire left, but a considerable portion of the left are loving these lockdowns for some reason. They are thoroughly really enjoying it. They love like shaming businesses for staying open, shaming people for not wearing their masks and all that. Even though like these little family owned businesses are they're the working class. These are people that are trying to make income and make a life for themselves, and actually actually develop their business and raise themselves out of poverty. And it just seems that a lot of people on the left are going, well, fuck you. Go fuck yourself. You're not allowed to stay open when there's absolutely no support for these people now. And it's basically lockdowns have cast people even further into poverty. And basically they're saying, oh, it's the government's fault. It's the government's fault. And it's like, you're the one cheering the lockdowns. You're the one cheering the lockdowns. And I think, like, see if the government orders a business to lock down, that government should then pay that business what it was projected to have made in that month. And not based on figures like they've done in the past, where what they're doing now is we'll be able to give you some financial support, but it's going to be based on your earnings, from between this particular period. And it's like, oh, but in that particular period, we were locked down. We didn't make any money during that time. And they're like, oh, so your income was zero? Oh, well, you get paid zero then. Sorry, that's the rules. Like, honestly, it's terrible. It's absolutely shit.
That's really ridiculous. Also, you can't really put a price on someone's business. I mean, they spent their whole life building it. And you can't, and even they don't know how to predict exactly their income for the next month. So how can government? So I was going back and watching some of your videos. Obviously, your most famous video was a Nazi pug video, which I'm sure you're probably exhausted about talking about. But it's so funny, and I'm always telling my family and friends about it. Always. I mean, like, even before I knew who you were, I just knew about the story, because everybody knew about the story of the guy who got arrested for trolling his girlfriend's little pug with by training him to do a Nazi salute. But like, I mean, it's scary too. Like, it's funny, but it's scary because I wonder how many people have gotten in trouble or arrested for saying or doing similar things. Also, are you okay? Like, now, is the government trying to mess with you for videos on your channel? Because I saw something you did that was similar for BLM also.
Yeah, I think the government have sort of like learned their lesson now, because basically after they arrested me, I think it was just sort of a knee-jerk reaction. I think by arresting me, they thought that they were, oh, this is going to send like a strong message to all these like racists and bigots and Nazis and blah blah blah. But the government, by the time they realised that there was no way for them to come out of this situation looking good, it was too late. Like, my trial was already ongoing, and I ended up getting to a point where I don't know what happened, but it seemed that like a higher power just eventually went, get this trial over and done with. Just get it over and done with. Just give him an £800 fine. Get him out the door. We just want to see the back of this guy. Like, we don't want anything to do with it, because with every single appearance I made in court, my channel grew. Free speech movements got larger. It's just the more and more it went on, and eventually they just went, just fucking get rid of him, get him out. £800 fine, okay, bye. And then I decided to be a dickhead and went, well, I'm not going to pay your fine. I'm not going to pay it. Like, come and get the money. And I got all the threatening letters in about it, like, oh, if you don't pay this, you're going to be arrested. You're going to be taken back to court. And I was just going, yeah, that's nice, and like putting it in the bin. I even made a YouTube video telling the cops, come and get me. Like, you know where I am, come and get me. And then weeks and weeks went by. Like, I got the final letter where they said, right, this is the final letter. If you don't pay it, you're getting arrested. And I went, cool, not paying it. Weeks and weeks and weeks went by, and I heard absolutely nothing from the police. So I called the cops on myself, because I just wanted to get the arrest over and done with. I didn't want to be arrested at like a really inconvenient time. You know how like late on Friday night where you get kept in jail until Monday morning and all that. So I just went, I'll just get it over and done with. I called the police and was like, yes, hello, I'm a wanted man. You know, I told them where I was, told them my address. I went, I'm here right now. Come and get me. And the cops literally went, no. And I was like, would you mean no? Like, I'm telling you where I am. I'm a criminal, apparently. Come and arrest me. And they, no joke, the guy said, we aren't going to come and arrest you until your name comes up in the computer.
Oh
And
my
I was just like, what? So what do you mean? I'm telling you where I am, and like they still wouldn't come and get me. But what they had something sneakier in mind. See, our government is able to actually seize money out of your bank account. They're actually allowed to seize money out of it, and but they're supposed to notify you of that first. They're supposed to tell you on this day we will be taking X amount out of your account. But they knew that if they told me about that, then I would just empty the account. I would just empty it, and I wouldn't. I would empty it, and they couldn't take the money. So what they did was they just took it without telling me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and my lawyers went apeshit about it, and they went, "That's what they've done is literally illegal. That's literally illegal what they just did." And my lawyers like filed a complaint and everything, and the cops just sort of went, "Oh, did we do that? Our bad. We're sorry."
That's insane.
Yeah.
They seize money from your account. Like, what is this? You know, like Saudi Arabia. I mean, I'm sure they even have more, like,
right.
That's insane.
Yeah, but because they took the money, it was considered, you know, the balance is paid. That's it. Everything's over now. And they went, so basically that was their way of finally getting rid of me. But then I went through the whole process of like trying to appeal my sentence. I appealed to the Sheriff Court of Appeals, and that went so well that the appeal board threatened to arrest my lawyer for doing his job.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so they told us to fuck off. I then did a really, really old law called nobile officium, which is where I appeal. It literally in the law is that old that it literally says that I can place my case before the highest judges in the land. Like, that's how old this law is. And I did that, and I had the 3 top judges in all of Scotland in front of me. They let us get about 5 minutes into the appeal before telling me no. They didn't even hear the case.
That because it was a joke.
Yeah, they weren't interested in hearing the case. Basically, I had a right to go in front of them, but that doesn't mean that they have to listen to me. They just sort of went, right, we've heard enough, bye. They had absolutely no interest whatsoever. I then went to the appeals at the High Court and got rejected. I then went to the appeals at the Supreme Court and also got rejected. And it wasn't a case of I actually went in and they got to hear my appeal. They refused to even hear my appeal. And basically, it's sort of that cemented, because I have top lawyers who've been in the game for decades. They've been in the game for decades, and they turned around and said, someone big in the government is making sure that you get fucked. That's what they were saying. They went, someone big in the government is making sure that all of these fail. And they were saying, in all my years of doing this, I have never, ever seen anything like this. They've seen child murderers get appeals. But a guy with a dog lifting its paw couldn't get an appeal.
Do you think that it was political, or perhaps someone who actually knew you personally who was trying to fuck with you?
None of my ex-girlfriends work in law. Yeah,
It's probably political.
100% political. It was 100% political. That's what it was. It's because they turned around and said, like, the judge said that this ruling that he handed down to me sets absolutely no precedent in law. But that's what rulings literally do. They set a precedent. So that was the thing, is even journalists and stuff like that hated me were even saying, why the hell did the judge say that? That's a lot of nonsense. Like that, like, all laws set a precedent, and it's basically so that the conviction in my case can be used to convict other people. It's basically they need my case so that they can do to others what they did to me. It's to basically make it easier to arrest and charge people. And right now it's being done for like being offensive, but then what will happen is probably within the next 10 years, any speech that criticizes the government will be deemed as offensive speech. And that's the end game. Like whenever anybody wants to try and control freedom of speech, it's not to protect people, it's to protect their own power.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting because my sister was asking me, so why do they if I mean, are they blind? Can they not see that this guy is trolling?
Yeah.
So why would they arrest him then if he wasn't? So I didn't have an answer. I was like, oh, they're just, I don't know, they're just crazy. But
that's the thing that I still laugh at. I still laugh at to this day is the Scottish Intelligence Service, who are basically like our equivalent of like the CIA, except compared to the CIA, it's just some guy in a shed with a laptop. But basically, we've got like the Scottish Intelligence Service, and they were brought in to give evidence at my trial, right? And it was hilarious because the guy they brought in, I mean, these are the people that catch pedophiles and terrorists and human traffickers and like all these type of people, and yet he was brought in to act as a witness in this case over a dog lifting its paw. And then I felt so bad for the guy, and I spoke to him in the toilets of the court and everything, and like throughout the entire trial, the guy was just like, why am I here? This is absolutely beneath me. This is an absolute waste of the intelligence service's time. And the thing is, people still to this day say, oh, he's a Nazi, he's a fascist, he's far right, blah, blah, blah. Like, the Scottish Intelligence Service literally went through all of my computers, all of my online accounts, absolutely everything to do with my online presence, and they found zero links whatsoever to any far-right groups or far-right activity. But then you get...
They went for your personal accounts, too?
Yeah, like they definitely they found a lot of porn. Nothing illegal though, obviously, or I wouldn't be sitting here. But you know, I feel bad for the guy that had to do that. But basically, like they went through all of my stuff and found absolutely nothing. But you still get, you know, he, him, genderqueer, non-binary on Twitter that thinks that they can do a better job than a literal intelligence service.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So, and also from what I hear, I mean, you weren't even in the political sphere before this started, because I mean, I remember you were just a random YouTuber.
Yeah, I was involved in politics. Like I was, like a lot of people know this about me. I used to be a communist, like back when I was young, like when I was a teenager. And everyone, but like I got so jaded with the political process that I pretty much just sort of like mentally checked out of politics, and I just stopped caring. I was still like mostly left wing, but I didn't get involved in groups. I didn't even read or watch the news on politics. I just stopped caring completely. But then obviously, like as the years went on, you know, see how as you grow up and you get jobs and you get your own place and you start making income, you know, the crazy left-wing stuff slowly starts to go away, and then you start to get a bit more sensible. So I was on that path. But then I get arrested over a meme, and, you know, that was a little bit of an accelerationist moment. But yeah, I'm a libertarian now. I'm not a big fan of governments, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel you. I wouldn't be either. I mean, I'm not, but
yeah,
more so with your situation. And also, like it seems like a lot of people here in the U.S. are kind of on your wave too. They started off, they were like Bernie Bros. They're part of Occupy Wall Street, and now they're kind of on the libertarian wave.
I like the fact that people are starting to realize that it's not mostly an issue of left versus right. I think all of that's a smokescreen. I think it's everyone versus the government. I think the government just likes to fan the flames of the whole left versus right thing to divert everyone away from the fact that they are the ones that are the problem.
Yeah. And they're all working together to fuck over the working man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's why when I seen Tucker Carlson like starting to talk about when you realize that this isn't about left versus right or black versus white. This is about the workers versus the elite. This is about us versus them. That kind of made me go, oh shit, well, Tucker's getting cancelled. So, like, I enjoyed that, but I'm happy he's talking about that, because this is that is what it all boils down to. It's basically, there are rich and powerful people that want to protect, their wealth and their power, and so they want to, keep us distracted and slowly but surely take away our rights while our backs are turned, so that they can make sure that they stay in power forever. That's been the end game the entire time.
Yeah, and in the past it used to be that, I mean, those governments were kind of operating individually, but now everything's kind of merging into one. They're like, you don't pay your taxes in the US, you'll get arrested and fined in the UK or wherever. Yeah. Do you think it's possible to have, like, I know because Julio Alejandro is watching this stream, and what's up? And so I remember having a conversation with him where he described kind of like a future, like a non-government entity. Like, do you think that's possible, where we don't have governments, where it's just...
I've not fully went down the route of anarcho-capitalism or anything like that just yet. I do feel that the state should still exist in some aspect, purely because it is convenient when everyone is singing from the same hymn sheet and everything. But especially, like, I feel that the government's primary purpose should be its original intended purpose, which is to protect the rights of the citizens. That should be its purpose. That should be its point. It's just that, as time went on, it just started getting its foot in the door and regulating this and regulating that. Like, see, for example, even here in Scotland, even if you own the land, if you want to build something like a shed on your property, you need to get the government's permission before you're allowed to do it. And there's
zoning laws.
Yeah, like stuff, nonsense like that. Basically, I feel if you own the land, you can build whatever the fuck you want on it.
Yeah.
Right. That should be the way it is. It's your land, you own it. As long as what you build isn't affecting any of the surrounding land. Like, for example, you can't just build a toxic waste dump next to a school or anything like that. Like, I think as long as it obviously doesn't, violate the NAP, as everybody likes to say, as long as it doesn't do that, you can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, but it seems like, is it worse in Scotland than it is in the rest of the UK, or it's kind of like the same thing?
Oh, we've got higher taxes and everything here. Like, the one thing that's extremely funny is in Scotland, if you get caught with a knife outside, that's a 6-month prison sentence. Like that, automatic 6-month prison sentence. Even if you're out like fishing or anything like that, it's a 6-month sentence.
Holy shit.
See how an air rifle, like air rifles as well, these are not firearms. There's no like cartridges or gunpowder or anything involved. It's powered by air, right? It fires a little pellet, which at worst will give you a very bad bruise, right? You need a license to have one of them.
Oh my god, that's insane. Yeah. I'm hearing an echo a little bit. Oh, never mind.
All right, good.
But so I take it there's no guns. No guns allowed, except unless you're the police.
No guns unless you're the government. The government's allowed guns, but we are not.
That's really scary.
It's what, have you not noticed that any like countries that don't have armed citizens are usually the countries that have the least amount of rights? Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
It's because they know there's nothing we can fucking do about it.
Yeah.
That's why they know that they can get away with it. They're the ones with all the guns. Like that, we can't do anything about it. I know it's really hard to not start like Fed posting and just want to go like full IRA. I just want to be clear that was a joke. I don't want to get arrested again.
Yeah. There's so many red flags here. Can't walk around with a gun, can't make a joke. And those are like the two those are the, and then I'm sure freedom of, there's so many other things that you can't, freedom of press, freedom of religion, stuff like that are so important in the U.S. People on the left don't understand why. It's because of what we're seeing in Scotland and other European countries.
Scotland's actually a testing ground. This is one thing that we've noticed for a long time is Scotland. We've got a small population. We're only about 6 million here in Scotland, whereas in England it's something like, I think it's something like 60 something million.
Wow.
Right. So, yeah, we're a minority in this country, to be honest, but like we get used as a testing ground for a lot of laws before they get introduced to like other countries in the West. So say, for example, the smoking ban law, that was introduced in Scotland first. The speech laws, those were introduced in Scotland first. Well, you're not, see how basically inside any building, see how like bars and restaurants and pubs and everything, in Scotland, you're not allowed to smoke inside them at all. You're not even allowed to smoke near the door. You need to be at least like 15 or like 20 feet away from the door.
Even if the bar doesn't care, like the owner doesn't care?
No, if the owner lets you smoke inside, like he will get fined. He'll get fined if he lets you smoke inside.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, everything is regulated here. Absolutely everything is regulated here. Like honestly, like the only thing which is surprising, and the only reason they don't do this is because it's for tourism. We don't need a fishing license. That's the only thing here that you don't need a license for, and the only reason for that is because a lot of foreigners come over to Scotland to fish because Scotland's famous for its fishing. So the only reason that we don't need a fishing license is because it's, it will cost us money in tourism.
That's crazy. So I'm assuming you can't. I mean, can you smoke pot?
No, it's very illegal to smoke cannabis. Smoke cannabis here, which is why I'm glad that I don't. I do not smoke cannabis.
I just got curious because I saw you, and then also, that's one thing I don't like about Texas is you can't smoke pot, although they're legalizing it in some ways, so that hopefully that'll be fine. But everything else is better in Texas than California. But the one thing I like better about California is that you can smoke pot.
Yeah.
But
when I was in California, I smoked my first legal weed.
No.
I did not feel as cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drugs are so much cooler when they're illegal. It lost a lot of its charm.
Yeah. Now it's like there's shops all over LA. You can just, it's like, and they're so bougie. You walk in there with your high heels and smoke a blunt with your friends or whatever.
Drinking Cristal, smoking weed. Instead of going to the little dodgy man in the hoodie at the street corner who you don't know if he's going to sell you weed or if he's going to rob you. Now you can go into like these up-end fancy bars and everything like fucking they've liberalized weed. That's what it is. They've made it trendy and cool among the elite, which is why it's not cool anymore.
Yeah, we don't want to be like those guys.
No, definitely not.
So I saw that you also ran for office. Like, how? Why? What made you decide to do that?
I didn't decide to do that. That was something that was completely by accident, right? And it was just like the reason I got involved in politics in the first place was because we have two like major parties who are kind of like our Dems and Republicans, and it's the Labour Party who are, socialist, communist, like they literally all refer to each other as comrade. And all that, right? Like that's the thing is like they go, oh, it's just a term of endearment. We just call each other that, and I'm like, okay, then, well, on our side, we're going to start referring to each other as Obergruppenführer. And all that, and you're not allowed to complain about it. But we've got the Labour Party, and then we also have the Conservative Party, who are the Tories. So it's Labour and the Tories, and the Tories don't give the tiniest shit about freedom of speech. They don't care about it at all. Labour, on the other hand, wants to banned like all manners of speech. That like all of the free speech laws and everything that have been put in place, they all came from Labour. That was Labour. So none of those parties were a choice. The only other one that actually had a bit of clout and actually had things in their manifesto to campaign for freedom of speech was UKIP. So I joined UKIP, and I thought it was just going to be a case of I would just be a member of a political party. But what ended up happening instead was I got sort of welcomed into like the upper echelons right away because I kind of made their membership explode. And like everything started developing and getting bigger and bigger. And then I got flown out to Strasbourg in France for the EU Parliament meeting about Article 13. I literally got to watch the vote go through. I was there. I got to be an actual witness to democracy dying in Europe, so that was fun. And then they basically said, "Do you want to stand as an MEP candidate?" And I kind of went, "What?" And they went, "Yeah, you'll be an MEP candidate for UKIP in Scotland." And I went, "You know what? Yeah, sure, fuck it. Like, I'll do it. That'll be fun." Except one of the things that I did on the day that my candidacy got announced, I posted my balls on Twitter.
What?
Like, it just, I don't know what it is. I'm literally my own worst enemy. Yeah, my balls. That's the thing is, I can't even remember why I did it. Like, it was all over the newspapers and everything, and I thought there's going to be tons of journalists like looking at my account right now, and they're all going to be really mad. Like, I'm just going to post my balls to piss them off, and so I did it, and the journalists did get really mad. But then I had like the higher ups in UKIP phoning me like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, delete that," and I was like, "No." It's like, no, it's funny. So yeah, I didn't win, but this I didn't win, obviously. But the reason for that is I was fourth in the list. I was fourth in the list of candidates. So in order for me to actually win and get a seat, 80% of the Scottish population would have had to have voted for UKIP. And given the fact that the vast majority of Scotland is overwhelmingly left wing, like that would never have happened. So I think I kind of went, I'm not going to win, so I might as well have some fun with it.
That's so funny. I remember in the UK when that was happening, and there was a rally for you, and my flight was the same day. My flight out, so. But I remember that people were excited about your candidacy. Sorry,
your voice went a wee bit sort of underwater there. Like I couldn't really hear what you said.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah. I don't know what happened there.
Okay. Maybe it's on your end.
Maybe. I don't know if it's my speakers or anything, but no, I think it's okay.
Okay, cool.
I think I'm okay in my end, yeah.
So so I'm sure your girlfriend was also kind of on your wave. She was also like lefty when you guys started.
She's actually extremely like apolitical. She just doesn't care. She just likes to bake cakes.
Yeah, I watched
like that.
Videos. They're fun.
Yeah, like that's the thing that's funny is like, see, we've been at events and everything, and people try and like discuss like political things with her, and she doesn't care, and like and in a way, I'm really jealous that we like all this horrible political news like comes out and stuff like that, but and I'm sitting in here like raging about it and tweeting about it, and she's just next door like making brownies. Like she just doesn't care. I'm actually kind of jealous, actually.
That's a good balance.
Yeah, as we're very very different. People like to point that out a lot. We're two very very different people.
How'd you guys meet?
It was funnily enough. It was two things. It was through work, but also Tinder. It was through work.
Sorry, your wife. I'm just used to saying girlfriend because of the story, because she was your girlfriend in the story,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I had to correct myself.
No, it's cool. The thing is, I was just flicking through Twitter one day, right, and
Tinder.
yeah, Tinder. It was Tinder. Yeah, we were flicking through Tinder, and then I seen her face come up, and I said, "That's the girl from my work." Like that, like she sits like five desks away from me, and I seen it, and I just sort of went, "I wonder." And I swiped, and we matched, and I'm useless with the whole dating thing. So when we matched, I just went, "Oh, that's nice," and just kept swiping, like, and ended up she messaged me, and then when we were in work, we spoke for a little bit, and then we went out on a few dates. And the thing that's funny is, because she's so wholesome, she was sitting there like every time I match with someone on Tinder, they always just try and sleep with me, and she was like, "Do you know that people just use Tinder so that they can get casual hookups?" And I was like, "What? Really? You're joking? That's absolutely terrible. Can't believe that." No, man, but yeah, now we're married.
That's so funny. That's very sweet.
Oh yeah, I know. It was good. It was a good wholesome story, but yeah,
What kind of work were you guys doing?
we were working in a bank. It was in a call center. We were working in a call center for a bank.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. It was a shit job. It was a shit. We both quit. I think we both quit at the same time because we found other things. So yeah.
What's it like? I mean, what's it like to work in Scotland? You guys, I mean, I'm sure the taxes are really high.
Yeah, if you in Scotland, like even if you have a university degree, you're going to be working in like McDonald's or a call center or something like that. Mainly a call center. There are like so many young people employed in call centers all across Scotland. Like that's like the primary career for people here, or like McDonald's or KFC or something like that. So that's why. We don't. That's why it's just shit because it's really easy to get a university degree here. It's next to impossible to actually do anything with it because there just aren't enough jobs. And one of the figures that they try and do is they say that unemployment in Scotland is really low. Unemployment in Scotland is really low. But what they do is the government incentivizes companies to simply hire a person, just simply hire them. So this person might only be working about 15 hours a week, which means that they are not earning like a living wage. Like you can't earn a living wage on only 15 hours a week. Yeah. But with those 15 hours, that person legally is employed. So then when the government goes, "Oh, look how low our unemployment numbers are. Our unemployment's really low," whereas like these people are only earning like £400 a month.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, they're not earning a living wage, and that's the problem. Is like, see, if you work in any of these places, you won't get a full-time job. You will get a part-time job, and that's why you've got so many people that are like living with their parents, or they're all like shared accommodation. They're like renting an apartment, but there's like 5 of them living in this apartment because that's all they can afford. Yeah, that's just the way it goes over here. It's a shit state of affairs.
And I'm sure that they make it really hard for business owners. So it's not like a lot of businesses popping up.
No, definitely not. No, a lot of people lost their jobs in Avon as well because of the lockdown. I've got quite a lot of friends that were earning, like 20, 30 grand a year, and now they're working as Amazon drivers because they're the only people that are hiring right now.
I'm thinking of dropping out of school. I'm actually in grad school right now, and I'm thinking about dropping out because I don't really see a future for myself with my business degree.
Yeah. I think the best thing to do right now is invest in stocks in Amazon, or try and find a job that you're able to do at home. Like, yeah, because that's the thing is like going out and starting your own business. I think that's what part of the lockdown is as well. It's going to disincentivize people. Like, say, for example, if someone now had any plans of starting their own business, or even 10 years from now, they're going to remember the lockdowns and go, well, why should I go out and start my own business when the government's just going to take it away from me?
Yeah.
Like that, it completely disincentivizes people to actually go out and like make their own place in the world. It makes people a lot more dependent on, the government and big corporations.
Yeah. But if you're making money from your house, I mean, and you've been doing this for years. You started doing this while you were working at the bank, right?
Well, that was the thing is like the when I started on YouTube, like I had no intentions whatsoever of making YouTube like a full-time job. When I started, I just made like that's why I've got the name Count Dankula, because it was just a shit posting channel. I was like, this is just going to be a stupid channel that I upload dumb random videos on. But then from there, it like for the first 2 years, I couldn't get a job, wasn't getting hired anywhere, I wasn't making big money for YouTube. And then I started making like political content and everything because I had all this free time because nowhere would hire me after the Nazi pug thing. And then, more and more the channel grew, and then it blew up. And I think it's been for about 2 years now that I've actually been doing YouTube like full time. It's now my full time job. Nice. And it's the best job I ever had, because for a while I was actually in private security as well. That's what I was doing. I do miss that job. I do actually miss private security, but you can't be in private security when you yourself are the security risk. so yeah, that's a bit of a problem.
So how do normal people make money online, you think? Like
well, that's the thing is you get some people that make like online businesses. Like a lot of people make fun of places like Etsy and stuff like that. Yeah, Etsy is where it's where you get a lot of girls that like make arts and crafts. Like I make like designer, like designer plates or like some shit like that, and like people make fun of it. But I think that's an amazing thing. You're at home, you're creating things with your labor, and then you're selling it to people online that want to buy it. I think that's fantastic. I think people should start producing things like that. You're getting people now that are wanting to like completely move away from depending on the government and depending on corporations, because like corporations are just they're shit. I've worked for big massive corporations that I'd see, unless you're in the upper echelons of it, they're absolutely shit places to work for. Whereas if you've got your own thing that you control and you're making it and it's a business that you're in charge of, you'll find that you actually work harder. See, because it's your own business and it's something that you actually care about, you work so much harder. Like one of the things that I've did this myself. Every job in Scotland is crap and it's all minimum wage. So what I did was I basically found the minimum wage job that involved me doing the least amount of work, which was private security. So like basically I could either be making minimum wage in a McDonald's or in a call centre, slaving away and getting yelled at by managers and customers and being completely stressed out at the end of each shift, or I could be guarding some missile silo in the middle of nowhere in Scotland where I just watch movies on my laptop for 12 hours. Like that's what I did. If all the jobs are minimum wage, then you just find the one that requires you to do the least amount of work.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Or that you can also do something else while you're at the job.
Well, that's what I was doing back even when I was working in like private security. See, because I was just sitting there like for 12 hours, I just had to like go out and make sure that the missiles were still there. No, it's like I was writing YouTube videos. I mean, even back in the day, see, in my little security building, some of my older videos were actually filmed in there. I was like filming videos like while I was at work. I just brought a green screen with me so that my bosses wouldn't know that I did it at work.
That's so funny. That's genius, honestly. That's so cool. So, do you ever think of moving to the U.S.? I mean, Scotland doesn't deserve to have you. I'm sure the people deserve to have you, but their government doesn't deserve to have you living there. And
I will admit, I have a good few times fantasized about it. I have fantasized about, just upping and like moving to America, and I would have. Yeah, I've been to Texas. I couldn't survive for like 5 minutes outside. I'm used to ice, snow, and never-ending winters. Like I live in a country where see if you forget to let your cat in at night, you don't have a cat anymore. Like that's you've got a statue somewhere out there, right, that looks like your cat. That's the type of country I live in. And like I went to Texas and I decided to just go for a walk one day, and like within half an hour I thought I was dying. Like I can't. I like if I moved to America, it would be somewhere way up north, right on the border of Canada, probably. But like I have fantasized about moving to America, but I love my country far too much, and I don't want to cut and run. I want to see what I can do to make it better instead.
Are you going to run again?
Possibly, because I'm in the Libertarian Party now, and I believe they want to field me as a candidate.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'll probably be running again. We don't know what's happening with it yet, but I'm going to do my best.
What can we do to help? United
just keep the government off my back. It's like I've always wanted to just turn around to Americans and just tell them that we have oil. Just we've got oil, we've got lots and lots of oil, lots and lots of oil. Send over the Apaches, send over the troops, send over the Marines. We've got so much oil. You know, come over here. You can liberate us, and you can have all the oil. That's fine.
That's actually not a bad idea.
I've thought about it. I was trying to get a direct line to Trump.
Is there a movement in the U.S. to try and like a U.S. Scottish movement, like a liberation movement happening? Is that something that we'd have to start from scratch?
They're probably see now that you've said that someone will probably make one now. Liberate Scotland from the SNP.
Yeah, we can. I mean, we'll all stand. You know, we'll all stand for you.
Brilliant. Thanks very much.
Liberate Scotland. Yep. Yeah. And then also, are you going to keep doing YouTube stuff when you win?
For as long as I can. Yeah, I'm going to keep doing YouTube for as long as I possibly can, because it's a job that I truly love. It's one of the very few jobs that I've had where I actually really enjoy what I do. Oh, I think I might have lost the connection there. Are we back?
Okay. No. I hear you. But,
we're back.
I hear you. But I can see it's getting late there, and I want to let you go. So everybody, go over on YouTube. We've got Count Dankula in the description. We've got your Twitter channel, your YouTube channel. Everyone follow Count Dankula. Get ready. Do people call you by your personal name, by the way? Like, should I call you Mark?
Well, that's the thing is, like, my real name's Mark, but everyone calls me Marcus. But then everyone on the internet calls me like Dank. They just call me Dank. Yeah.
Okay, Dank. I like that. So the United States of America, Scotland Liberation Front, as we do exist. So everybody, I mean, I'm sure you already follow him, but just in case, you know, follow him, and we're rooting for you. We're waiting for your next run.
Thanks very much. Hopefully it'll be soon. Hopefully it'll be soon, so we can get rid of the SNP.
Thank you so much.
No worries. Cheers.
Thanks. Have a good evening.
You too.
Thanks. Okay. Thanks for joining, everybody. And also, thank you for all the super chatters. We got Hamid. That was really cool. So one of these days, we're going to do a live stream from Sweden. And Rick and I talk about coming to Sweden a lot. So at some point, we'll do that. Dank is his true name. We'll call him Dank. That was a really cool live stream. I didn't want to keep him on here for too long. I know we have another 10 minutes, but he was exhausted, and I could tell he was, it's so late there. I think right now it's like 10, 11, 12, something like that in Scotland. And I've had guests on that I kept, you know, like I tried to keep for the full hour, and I didn't want to do that to him because anyway. But I'm happy that he came on and he was so cool about it. He was so chill and like, yeah, totally, whatever. Person on Periscope says, "Did you ever make your OnlyFans?" No, I didn't make an OnlyFans, but I am thinking. If you guys have any ideas for YouTube, I am thinking of trying to put some kind of subscription thing so that I can do the YouTube stuff more often and have sort of like the subscription membership thing. It's really hard for me because I don't like to put things behind a paywall because I want everybody to see it. So I want everybody to see everything. So it's really hard for me to come up with ideas of what I would put behind a paywall. So if you have any ideas, let me know. DM me. You can say it in the comments. DM me also. Hamid, you're also like someone that I feel really bad when these live streams go really late. I feel really bad that it's so late for you. So I'm glad that today is a little bit earlier for you. It's still probably later for you than it is for Scotland. Uh, Oh wow. Yeah, just about 11 p.m., almost 11 p.m. So I appreciate everybody that's watching from other places. And I actually wanted to ask him like if he had to leave Scotland where he would move to, but if it wasn't the US, but I think the US is still right now the most free country. Even we talk about Saudi, we talked about I don't know, the UAE and the Caymans and all these random places where you might have some financial freedom on some level, and people say that it's not really freedom fully because financial freedom doesn't necessarily translate into other forms of freedom because the government has such a tight grip, and usually when they're giving freedom in one area it's just because they're trying to recruit people, but they're still they still have very tight governments in other places. Anyway, Connor says watching from Ireland. Thank you. Thank you for watching. And also, do you like the sign over here? You see this? Welcome back. I got it from Natalie Kratz. She gave it to me, and Natalie Kratz, Tom Sauer, if anyone recognizes them from Twitter, go over and check it out. Thank you, Josh, for a compliment. And Josh says Australia was free until like 10 years ago. Yeah, Australia seems like a mix. I guess. Um, oh, Nate says I'm watching from Cuba. I could get the death penalty for watching you. I am that much of a fan. For real? You're watching from Cuba? Dude, I'm so honored. Thank you. This is so cool. Sometimes I see that. Like sometimes I see like in the analytics it says like person watching from like I don't know, Cuba or Africa or something like that, and I'm just like, are people really watching from there? Are they like is that just a VPN that's just showing that it's watching from there, but it's really somewhere else? I don't know. Anyway, what up? What up? So yeah, that's it. Hopefully, there's going to be some kind of revolution or thing, some kind of global revolution. Although I don't know how much I should hope for it because it'll probably be full of bloodshed, and I don't know if I want that. I don't know if I want to deal with the consequences of that, or at least if it happens, I would want to be out in. I would want to be out in like the desert or something, somewhere in the woods where no one can reach me, and I want to have a lot of guns, so I can at least protect myself if some wild savages come running and chasing, looking for my family. So at least I'd want that to have that before any sort of global revolution starts happening. And maybe even a bomb shelter just in case. Hamid says people put their lives on the line for you. It's so cool. I feel so honored, and I feel like I should be doing something great with it. I mean, it makes me want to do this full time like crazy, and even more than the real estate stuff, which is kind of, it's fun, but I like this anyway. Felix says it's so messed up in the UK. Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame because there's so many young people that are smart and perfect in every way possible, but just they're qualified in every way possible, and they have good values and freedom values and whatever, but their minds aren't being utilized. And I am a fan of people I count like Dank, and I'm a fan of people who are online creators that are trying to help other, that are always giving away ideas of trying that are always giving away ideas of making money online. That's what I'm a fan of. Like people who aren't like, oh, I'm not going to tell you my secrets. Like Sorella Moore is one of them. She's a YouTuber that has made a living off of teaching other people how to make money online. I don't know if it worked. I don't know. I haven't actually like bought her courses, but I just watch a lot of her YouTube videos, and I think even those are very helpful. Her philosophy is very true. It's not like some kind of Ponzi scheme where she charges you money for nothing. Like you watch her videos, you learn a lot from her videos. She teaches about photography and making and lighting and things like that. And I think that's really good. Any way that you can make money online. If you guys have any ideas, let me know. I want to and if you can make videos teaching people how to make money online, and more creative ideas, and even that can, and maybe even if you want to get people involved and people to come and help you form your online business, let me know. Hemi says Skillshare. Yeah, I actually don't even know about Skillshare. Let me look it up. Skillshare. Yeah, let me know. And that's the goal here, is to try and get as many people to be fully independent as possible. I think that's where we'll hit the sweet spot, is when our youthful people that are good in every way possible aren't like rotting away in a call center, getting paid minimum wage and like making themselves disappear with a lifetime of drugs. Hemi says Ben Shapiro and Michael Knowles led me to Skillshare. Find what fascinates you. Oh, wow. Skillshare, so you can teach skills. That's interesting. I'm going to try it out. You never know. And one of those things might work. John says, make paywall videos about your daily life, like making groceries. Okay. It's not a bad idea. Nate says, Pardis, have you ever met Laura Ingraham? Yes, I have. I used to work for her. And yeah. I used to work for her. I wasn't very close with her, though. She just kind of like told us what to do. Blah, blah. Haha. That's not how you spell Ponzi scheme. It's with an O. You probably know that. But that's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll do that. Make more personal videos. I'm so like nervous about making personal videos because I haven't tested. Yeah. Anyway. But that's a good idea, to make more personal videos. And also, I'll put a poll if people like YouTube memberships better versus like Patreon. I don't know. Anyway, see you all tomorrow. Like this video if you haven't already. And subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribe on YouTube. If you're on Periscope, go over to YouTube and subscribe to my channel. If you want to be part of this little crew, this community that is going to help each other create content or just make money online, because that's our goal, is to get out of our shitty jobs, no offense to our jobs, and become independent and be able to travel and go everywhere and do everything. That's what I want to do. That's my goal in life, is to be able to travel and go out and build a family and fall in love, which that already has happened. So basically everything else, it's all happening. So like, I want that for all of you, because I want to be in a world where people can do that at our age. Anyway, so I haven't seen, Josh, I haven't seen the video. Did you try to send it through Instagram? Maybe try on Twitter. Are you on Twitter? Maybe through my DMs. My DMs are all open, so you can try through there. And yeah. I'm on Parler too. Go and follow me on Parler too. If you I should be there more. Like, I need to post more on Parler. But okay. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to hearing the idea. Nate, don't get arrested. Also, Nate, what are you doing in Cuba? Nate says, I remember when you used to do live streams every night. Yeah, that was kind of like, I did that because I needed to, because it was a thing keeping me sane. Now I'm doing it because I want to. So it's a little bit of a different dynamic, but that's why I love these live streams so much. No one's forced me to do them, but they make me so happy. I'm on Parler. I'll include in the description of this video. I'm going to update it with my Parler account. Alrighty. See you all. Don't forget to like this video. See you later. Bye.